You build the life that most guys dream of, so why does it still feel empty? What if dating doesn't mean you have to slow down or settle for someone who doesn't get you? In this video, I'll give you a 3 simple step process to start meeting quality women starting today without sacrificing your goals. And yes, I know what I'm talking about because I've been in a healthy relationship for 2.5 years now. Starting with creating your woman. So I remember Nila, my client actually, wanted to help with attracting a girl and getting her on a date. And he came to me and he was like, yo, how do I do that? How do I get her on a date and everything? Of course, I then helped him. Everything was going smoothly. But then at some point, I was like, you know what? Fill out this form for me. And in there, he had to fill out the form, which was literally about creating his woman, writing your needs, what you need from her, your wants, what you prefer that she has, and her hobbies, like where does she hang out at, what are her hobbies like. And I remember he filled out that form, and then straight away, I remember he was like about to go on a date with that girl that I was talking about before, and he straight up rejected her and told her, nah, I'm not going on a date with you anymore, because he realized that she doesn't meet the criteria of the woman that he created, the woman in his mind that he wants. And that's why most men end up with a nagging woman, fat, cheats on them, and it's just low quality because they don't sit down to think, what do I actually want in a woman? When you sit down to think, who is my target avatar that I want to market to? This is the exact same thing here. You want to market to the person who you actually want to work with and who you actually want to be in a relationship with. This like applies the same way. So write down your needs from her, your wants, what you would prefer that she has, but it doesn't have to be that. Like it's non-negotiable basically. And at the same time, write her hobbies. Where does she hang out at? Who does she hang out with? Her hobbies, shit like that. Like it's very important that you sit down and in detail think about it. Now, step 2 is to match the value. Now that you see that you can visualize her and she's actually pretty valuable as a woman, not just like a low quality hoe, of course, you now try to match that level of value. But not just by having money or dressing up in Gucci or showing off your Lamborghini or whatever it is. It's by also improving your presentation. Because let's be honest, bro, you're probably sitting at home all day working and you're neglecting that part of you of presenting yourself properly to a woman. Your body language, your grooming, your physique, your fashion, it's all extremely important. And this was actually me like a year and a half ago where I started working on my YouTube and I had a part-time job as well. And I was working on myself basically. And then I started neglecting that part of me where I looked fantastic. I was trimming my nails. I was cleaning myself up. I looked fantastic. I smelled amazing. And of course, that attraction with my girl died down slowly. But then to the point I realized, you know what? I don't want to be in a friendship with a girl. I want there to be attraction. I want there to be mystery. I want her to know that I'm still trying. And that's of course like specifically more valuable when you're already in a relationship. And that's more so the reason why you should do it before you get in a relationship, because you're not gonna go out dressing like shit, smelling like shit. Like, it makes sense. That's why if you want more of a deep dive into what I'm just talking about right now, click the first link in the description where you can get a free training. You just plug in your email and boom. So now lastly is the third step, which is progressively overloading. This reminds me when I wanted to start reading more books to educate myself. Beforehand, by the way, I never read any books. Like I was just forced to read like 2 to 3 books by the school system, and of course, like I don't remember shit. It was like a bad experience and everything. And in my brain, I was thinking, you know what? Failure of reading and retaining the information made me not want to pursue it any longer. And so afterwards, I thought like, how do I get back into reading? Like I just can't read a lot of books right now. It's difficult because it's just annoying for me. And imagine for me to read a normal sized book, it would take me like months to read one. And then I came across this piece of advice, which some guy said, like, if you just read 1 page a day, that's enough. And I was like, you know what? That seems just too easy. And I started doing that, of course. But it got to the point that was so fucking easy for me. I was like, why don't I read like 5 pages a day? I can easily do that. And that's the most powerful thing. You need to set the standard so low at first that you actually want to push yourself to do a bit more and progressively go up the ranks. And that literally got me to the point where I started reading like 5, 10, 15, 50 pages a day. I then read like 10 different books in just a few months, even though as before, it would take me like years to read that many books. So now we can easily apply that same logic to you going out and talking to women. And rather than you going to talk to a 10 out of 10, go talk to that 0 out of 10, the one that you're not attracted to at all, because it's just so easy. It's like talking to a friend, someone you know. It's not that difficult. And now imagine you get the reps in, and every single week or 2 weeks, you go up the ranks in terms of like attractiveness and appearance and everything. And you go to, and then the next week you go to a 2 out of 10, then a 4, then a 6, then an 8 and 10, whatever. And you get to the point where you're talking to 10 out of 10s easily every single day. And now when everyone's trying to go from a 0 to 100, you're going from a 0 to a 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, slowly going up the ranks. And it's not overwhelming. You don't have to waste that much of your time. You just literally go to places that you would go anyway, like for example to the gym, grocery store, other places like that, that you just go out and see people there outside and talk to the people that are there. It's that simple. You don't have to overcomplicate it. You don't have to go to the street and waste your time there. It's that easy. So now if you create your woman, you improve yourself, you match the value by improving your appearance, your grooming, your body language and everything. And then you use that, the weapon, like a weapon, to go out and approach women, slowly going up the ranks. That's how you're gonna start talking to 10 out of 10 women, not in just appearance, but also quality, because you're gonna be able to qualify them just like that, knowing exactly who you want, because you wrote down who exactly you want, not like 99% of men. So now we solve this issue, but the next problem is that the first thing that women see in you is your haircut, your hygiene is extremely important. So if you want more help to fix that one haircut mistake that is keeping you from attracting the woman of your dreams, click this video right here to learn more. Stop wasting time, my G.